Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. I came across a great palindrome the other day. When a word, verse, number, or sentence reads the same left to right as right to left, although most say backwards as forwards, like madam or race car or Anna or Hannah. I always find it exciting when I spot a new one because even though there are more than you realize, we don't see them that often. And when we do, we think it's great. Hey, small things. Now this week, we don't read a palindrome, but we don't know which way to go, backwards or forwards, because we're going to read one of the most incredible parts of the Torah ever written, one so confusing. The ancient sages determined elements of this week's reading was preordained at the time of creation. That's a long time ago. Now, one of the other things preordained and coming up in just a few weeks, my friends, is the Festival of Love. It's the happiest day of the year. It's coming less than a week after the saddest day of the year. The Festival of Love is on the 15th of Av, less than a month away, but 3 weeks now. Most important day of the year in many ways. And it's actually one of the most important holidays in the calendar. It is a light, non-religion and non-spiritual, but essential holiday that is celebrated throughout the entire land of Israel now. The power of love is a curious thing. Make one man weep, make another man sing. Change a hawk to a little white dove. More than a feeling, that's the power of love. First time you feel it might make you sad. Next time you feel it might make you mad, but you'll be glad when you found it's the power that makes the world go round. Don't need money, don't need fame, don't need no credit card to ride this train. It's a strong and it's sudden, cruel sometimes, but it might just save your life. That's the power of love. Now, no matter what you feel, there's more power in love than anything. It's what truly holds the universe together. While love is unifying, it's a universal entity. Everyone and everything is still different. Yes, there's shared knowledge, there's shared characteristics, but possession of knowledge alone cannot bestow virtue, happiness, fulfillment. For these things, we must look within and beyond ourselves. They're a part of us that interact with who and what we are. We're all different, but one thing that makes us the same is our need and desire to come together. Like when we come together as a group to honor and pray and observe as a community, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a true chavura, a fellowship, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. Even though together, we're individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, any way you want to gather and share so that we can come together from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yah. Hine Matov. Shevet Achim Gam Yah. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community, my friends, and let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct. It is your intention that sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives, my friends. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. It just floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam that's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal the world. It's not something we complete. It is an ongoing task to be dealt with in this lifetime, for every lifetime. We must each do our own individual part. We must each do what we can to improve and change our own little corner of the world. As we change ourselves, we change the conditions of life. And we're constantly changing, refining. It's whether we understand or are understood that can obstruct. We may think someone is cold, driven, controlling, but they may simply be overachievers compensating for an ancient emotional lack. As we work to understand others, we broaden our own outlooks on life, and they heal and we heal. Part of that healing in the world is when we send those thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers. For Jerry, a beautiful soul, struck down in the prime of life by a deadly disease. We all pray for you, Jerry, as we do for Snoopy. For Agent K, for Dory and Aurelia. For Mary and William, for Dave, Mookie, for my dear friend Shoshi. For all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere. For everyone you know in need, and for the whole world, for the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. Spirit, my friends, never dies. Evotenu Makor Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say Amen. Ishmerach. Let us all have our spirits renewed, because this is the great prayer for healing, my friend, in which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. I say He, meaning, God, He, she, it. Mishaberach, may He who blessed, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now, this reading with the preordained section is just about in the center of the Torah, actually, and it belongs there. Balak. Certainly one of my favorite Torah portions, right up there in the top 5. It's clever, witty, metaphoric in so many ways. Go right to the source and ask the horse. He'll give you the answer that you endorse. He's always on a steady course. Talk to Mr. Ed. People yakety yak, stroke and waste your time a day. But Mr. Ed will never speak unless he has something to say. This is the Mr. Ed section of the Torah. Would that more people were like Mr. Ed. Now, my good pal knows this is really the one true piece of humor in what many consider a dull book, the Bible. See, friends, humor is such an essential part of human life. The Bible would be strange and actually incomplete without it. It makes it real. It's in our lives. We just sometimes have trouble putting humor in such a serious vein. Balak was the name of a Moabite king in the day of Moses. And Balak is the one true comic genius piece of the Bible. Numbers 22:3. And Moab was very fearful because of the people, because it was numerous. And Moab felt a disgust at the children of Israel. That's a strange human characteristic, unfortunately still prevalent, taking the very existence of someone who was different or perceived to be strong to be a threat. So the king Balak takes action. He sent messengers to Balaam. So this week's Torah reading tells the story of how Balak hires the occult prophet Balaam to lay a curse on Israel. Well, Balaam meets resistance from God, has a conversation with his donkey, and ends up blessing Israel instead of cursing them. And believe it or not, this is one of the oldest pieces in the Bible. Balaam, son of Beor, is actually described in a plaster inscription from Deir Allah that was discovered in 1967. He is the earliest person mentioned in the Bible who is also mentioned in an archaeological source. We get excited by discovery of proof. So is this proof of the whole story? Maybe. We can each decide. Numbers 22:6. And now go, curse this people for me, because it's more powerful than I. Maybe I'll be able. I'll strike it. I'll drive it out from the land, because I know that whoever you'll bless will be blessed. Whoever you'll curse will be cursed. Now, these words hearken back to the words of Abraham, and we will hear them several times in this reading. Now, one of the things I focused on when I was last in Jerusalem pre-pandemic was researching and writing a paper on the use of parables and allegories in teaching Talmud or biblical characters, and how this had been the key way to teach from temple times on. Children, in fact, all people learn from story. It was how the parables of Jesus became so important, how the Iliad, the Odyssey, the Aeneid were transmitted. They gave birth to Aesop's fables, and of course to Peabody's improbable history. Now, there's only two talking animals in the Torah. One during the creation stories of early Genesis, the story of the serpent and Adam and Eve leading to expulsion from the garden, and so much more. The ramifications for serpents are still immediately understood from that story. And this one is the other one, the one of Balak, preordained. But they are radically different. In many ways, this is a turning point moment in the Torah. Numbers is rapidly coming to an end. There are interesting things here. The journey's almost over. But is it ever? So what happens is he's solicited to go curse people for the king, but he says he's not for hire because God told him not to go. So he's not going, no matter the amount he's offered. But then he is told to go. Numbers 22:12. Well, if these men come to call you, rise, go with them. But only the words that I speak to you shall you do. So God tells him to go, but then a series of incidents occur because he does go. It's very confusing. He's told not to go, and to go, and not to go, and to go. Then God gets mad because he does go after being told to go. Balaam rose in the morning, saddled his ass, and he went with the chieftains of Moab, and God's wrath flared because he was going with them. And the Lord's messenger stationed himself in the road as an adversary to him. He was riding his ass, and his two lads were with him. Well, we know when we read God's messenger, we're talking about an angel. And the ass saw the Lord's messenger stationed in the road, his sword unsheathed in his hand, and the ass swerved from the road and went into the field. And Balaam struck the ass to steer her back to the road. The Lord's messenger stood in the footpath through the vineyards, a fence on one side, a fence on the other. And the ass saw the Lord's messenger and was pressed against the wall and pressed Balaam's leg against the wall. Once more he struck her. The Lord's messenger crossed over and stood in a narrow place in which there was no way to swerve right or left. And the ass saw the Lord's messenger and crouched down under Balaam, and Balaam's wrath flared, and he struck the ass with the stick. And the Lord opened the ass's mouth, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you that you should have struck me these 3 times?" And Balaam said to the ass, "Because you've toyed with me. Had I a sword in my hand, by now I would have killed you." The ass said to Balaam, "Am I not your ass upon whom you've ridden your whole life till this day? Have I ever been wont to do thus to you?" And he said, "No." And the Lord unveiled Balaam's eyes, and he saw the Lord's messenger stationed in the road, his sword unsheathed in his hand, and he prostrated himself and bowed down on his face. Friends, the ass sees the Lord's angel in the road, while her master, the professional seer, sees nothing and remains blind to the divine emissary until his eyes are unveiled. The unveiling or uncovering of the eyes is crucial to the central theme of vision. And both unveiling and eyes will recur in the prologue of Balaam's oracles. So the ass could see, the seer could not. He was just blinded by the light, cutting loose like a deuce, another runner in the night, blinded by the light. Now, it is this fantastic episode of the Talking Ass that was listed in the preordained events at creation, and Balaam's answering is like a natural thing. It wasn't even surprising. So Balaam goes ahead and he blesses, not curses the people. Balak isn't too happy about it. But Balaam continues to remind us what we heard before, and possibly never more poignantly than when Joseph told us he was just a mouthpiece. God's in charge. Well, Balaam can only say what God told him to do. Numbers 23:25. And Balaam answered and said to Balak, did I not speak to you, saying, all that the Lord speaks, only that may I do? 3 times he's asked to curse, but it's always the same. And he says, should Balak give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not cross the word of the Lord to do either a good thing or a bad one from my own heart. That which the Lord speaks to me, it alone can I speak. Well, you know what? It's the same with you, my friends. God talks to everyone. He's talking to you right now. You can only say what he tells you, but you must not just hear. You must listen. Yes, my friends, the world's sacred, so is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, an end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we are a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive. Learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take twists and turns in the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn, to be, to love. So please do love. Now bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our Kavana, our cause, our effect. Everything is linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven, because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. You ate of the apple. So acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, with accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you. You should learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It is your home. Keep on dreaming, keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you, act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind. Because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. So make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you, because you're never alone. You're forever blessed, and you have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform. So love and bless and be generous, because as you bless others, you bless yourself. And love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief, and do not accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel others have felt, whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other. We are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support we all have or could have. A special someone in our lives. So find them and tell them what they mean. And remember, you're never alone on your journey to your promised land. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. And remember to think before you speak. Your words can empower you and free you, and listen to the voice of God. because he, she, it is talking to you all the time. Talks to you now. Talked to you long ago on the mountain, telling you how easy the mystery of life really is. And there's more than just 10 preordained items of creation, because you're one of them. And that, my friends, is the way that God planned it. Why can't we be humble? Like the good Lord said. He promised to exalt us, but look is the way. How man be so greedy when there's so much left? All things God given, and they all have been blessed. That's the way God planned it. That's the way God wants it to be. Well, you know what? You can't argue with that. Thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week. And please keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving. Believe in yourself and in love. Continue to spread a little goodwill to the world. And never forget, you are the miracle in someone's life. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.